Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another Last Epoch dev stream. As always, I'm your host, Mike. Hello! Welcome, everybody. Let's hop right in. Let's have some fun. You know, we are sticking with our Spoon Master because I love this build. I think we'll mix it up next week because we've been playing a ton of Rune Master lately. But for now, I'm just gonna keep playing with it because I'm having fun, and that makes life easy. How's everybody doing? How's everybody going? Having a good day, good week, good month? I hope so. If this is your first time here, welcome. Glad to have you with us. Thanks for joining us. I do like to answer as many questions from the community as I can throughout the stream, but if you want your question answered, please put at Last Epoch Game in the question so I see it, and I'll be able to get to it faster. Also, we stream for charity. It's the first stream of the month, so we've got a new charity. We're getting food out to people. It's going to be great. Hope you all enjoy. Imagine doing a Q&A when you could be watching BlizzCon. I know. I'll watch like highlights, and I'll probably rewatch the whole thing. Let's be honest. But it's the sort of thing that I can watch when I'm making dinner at like double speed. You know. So that's probably what I'll do. And I do expect our numbers to be a little bit low today because BlizzCon is happening. And that is totally fine. As my character just shouts, fools. Good time in there. Do I remember how to play this? Yes, I do. Because it just plays so easy. Not that, like... Not that, like, it makes the game easy, but just, like, there's not a lot of bad buttons to press. Like, you're just like, wow, there's a button I can press. Oh, it's good choice. You press the button. I really like it. Hey Mike, not sure if you've answered this, probably, but that's totally fine. Happy to answer it again if I have. But at some point, are you going to have side dungeons that randomly spawn in either campaign maps or monolith maps, kind of similar to the corrupted dungeons that spawn in PoE? So I would say there's a high probability of something like this happening, but a low probability of it happening very soon. So it won't be a 1.0 feature. But this is exactly the sort of content that we are looking to add to the game that we think is really going to be a big deal for Monolith especially, and other stuff too. So like just having that unexpected content show up and things to do that you're like, oh hey, something cool to do that I wasn't expecting to do, and I think that sort of stuff's really valuable, and that's the sort of thing that we're really focusing on for future content. So like in the cycles that come after 1.0, so the 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, all those big patches, will likely have some smattering of effects similar to this, or a system similar to this. Yeah, let's get a unique. I don't know. I laugh in the face of Mark for Death. Yeah, you know, like those. You're playing PoE, and like you're in a map, and then you find a map device in your map device, you find a map device in your map, and it opens a new map, and you go deeper, and then you go deeper, and it's like, how many map layers are there to this thing? Like that's super cool. It starts to get a little on the complicated side sometimes with all the different things that can happen, but like whether or not it's too much or not is very much a matter of opinion. And we're definitely on the too little side right now. That is, that's also opinion, but probably a less hotly debated one. Don't forget to put at Last Epoch Game in front of your questions if you'd like me to see it. If I do skip over it, please answer it again, but I do see one here that I'll answer. Question: what was the most difficult feature to develop for the game? Like, the cop-out answer is multiplayer. By far the most difficult thing, like not even remotely close. If we're gonna like delve a little bit into more specifics and like be like, okay, what in detail, like what part of multiplayer, what makes that so difficult? And like it's probably things that we just like haven't implemented yet, or like have just implemented but it's like not out yet. So like the how you can still like push enemies around in multiplayer, especially like really large enemies, like the dragon boss. You can still push enemies around for that. I know someone's working on that right now. It's a tough thing to do, and so like yeah, the multiplayer and really specific things in multiplayer is the hardest stuff. Saving, which I know sounds like such a fundamental thing that you're like, how could saving be difficult? Multiplayer saving, oh my god, it's complicated. Having these many different services, like positions of authority. So every time you connect to a new zone, every time the number when you hit tab, oh, actually, like we'll say the zone name up there. That might only be in development builds actually, but whatever this, whenever the zone you're in changes, the scene changes. You go through any sort of loading scene transition. You're connecting to a different physical server. Well, sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's software, but like there's a good chance you're connected to a different physical box somewhere else in the world every time you change scenes. And having the things you do on the new server and the old server be reconciled when it saves to long-term storage is like one of, if not the biggest pitfall of a game like this and how they're typically created. So yeah, those are the big ones probably. Did I see any other questions that I missed there? Will you be providing a roadmap of things that will be in the launch versus in later patches? We don't have a plan to bring out a full like detailed roadmap. We did recently release in our patch date announcement a light roadmap. It's called a roadmap, and it is, so it's more of an announcement roadmap, but it has the key things that are coming. If we're gonna do like a major feature roadmap for 1.0, item factions, Warlock, and Falconer. There you go. There's the roadmap. Specific detailed features, we don't have like a big list of those that that's available at all. Sorry. There is a community-led effort by Andrew Tilley for an unofficial roadmap that they have been curating for quite a while now, and is very impressive. You can check that out on our forums, and someone here can probably link that to you pretty quickly, or just go to the forums and search roadmap. The version that you see here is the live version. You can see the top left corner. It shows the version that I'm playing on, which is exactly the same as what everyone else has access to. I don't stream hidden special dev versions, just so that I can't risk accidentally leaking things, because I do intentionally leak things quite a bit. But it is what you see on screen is just I'm just playing the same way anyone else would, and it's more just the only reason I'm actually playing is so that I can quickly reference things in game if I need to look something up as an answer to a question. It's also just cool to just show off the game in general, and most importantly, I just want to play. So this is my weekly live version, like live game version playtime. A little on weekends too, but this is the big one for me. Most of the time I'm playing on our development build systems. Cause yeah, we did a test. I had my first like full end-to-end experience test of the Merchants Guild a couple days ago, which was a lot of fun. It was really cool. Very pumped for that to come out. which will be 1.0, not before, not after 1.0. But yeah, it's looking real good. I'm pumped. Still a few bugs, hiccups, things to work out. You know, we're still looking at how we've set things up and going, okay, is that what we want? And you know, because it's such an early version of the playtest version, we have to still decide, like, oh, is this giving the functionality we want? Is this giving the play experience we want? Yada yada yada. All right, answer that. There's no default loot filter. There's no default loot filter in PoE. What are you on about? Oh, this was talking to someone else. I'm just gonna go back to put at Last Epoch game in your question if you want me to answer it. Weirdest multiplayer loading bug during loading: wolves attack and kills you, yet there's no wolves in past or next zone. Cool, that's a fun one. I can play Eldritch Blast Warlock in LE2. Well, the ability Eldritch Blast is not one that's in Last Epoch. It's iconic enough to D&D that I feel like we might get in trouble for using that exact name. And I'll be honest, I don't know exactly what that ability does. And I'm kind of assuming that it's a D&D thing. Yeah. Warlock abilities will be unveiled on a. I think there's a specific date for when we're unveiling Warlock stuff. So I have no details on Warlock stuff until then, at all. Zip zero zilch. This may seem like a weird question. I love weird questions. But are there any plans to update the Chrono Worm pet animations? It moves really janky, and IMO doesn't align with how many dragon-esque creatures would move. I mean, it's not really the same type of creature that you're expecting. It kind of doesn't follow the rules of reality, which is pretty intentional. I could see it getting an animation update though, because it is something that we have. It is pretty old. I don't know if there's any plans for it or not, but if you want to see something like or anything happen, please head on over to our forums or Discord and leave a suggestion on the relevant threads. The suggestions threads. Oh, that giant Nova is so nice, and you like never see it on unreversed order. Okay, let's try and two of us can blow up. Are you gonna blow up, or am I gonna blow up? Who's gonna blow up first? This may seem like a weird question, but are there any? Oh, I already answered this. I saw on Reddit that the graphical updates will be teased in this stream. Very excited to see that. Who could have? What? Oh, Judd mentioned it. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Ruining my surprise, Judd. Oh, yes. Are there any plans on maybe somehow advance the skills that are already there? I think you mentioned something similar but couldn't go into detail. So if you're asking, will there be updates to existing skills in 1.0? Yes, every patch comes with updates to existing skills. If you look at our... just look at any patch and you'll see a huge section about updates to existing skills. There won't be like the primary focus for the skills team, and the dramatically vast majority of skill changes are involved in Warlock and Falconer. I can't overstate how much it is skewed towards Warlock and Falconer. which hopefully shouldn't be a surprise at all. Will we be nerfing or buffing certain skills prior to launch specifically? Yes. Yeah, we nerf and buff skills all the time. Yeah, I see a lot of these debates on various platforms. I think there was one very recently on Reddit about if you should nerf. There was a poll. This was a poll on Reddit, and it was like, should you? It was more of like a theoretical poll. So like, should you nerf? Like in balancing, should you nerf overpowered things or should you buff underpowered things? And I'm like, this is the right answer is not on this poll, because the right answer is neither of those things. It's both of those things. There's no one situation fits all answer to that question, and I think it stems from this, like, I don't know, fear of nerfs, or like maybe an individual traumatic experience with a specific nerf that may have happened at some point. But yeah, nerfs are necessary. Nerfs are absolutely necessary to keep a healthy gameplay environment, and that might not be a very popular thing to say. And it's not to say that only nerfs are necessary, or that you nerf everything or anything like that. It's just that there's not, you can't look at a very complex problem and apply a generic solution to it in most cases. So we do both. And sometimes you nerf something and then it's still OP, and then you nerf it again and it's still OP, and then you nerf it again and it's still OP. That's happened a couple times. Or it's like, how many times do you have to nerf this thing? It's like they're like still powerful today even. Oh, Random Name X! Thank you very much for 19 months in a row. Wow. Also, Falconer when it's ready. But in all seriousness, February 21st. I guess I can actually say a date now, can't I? Oh my god, I didn't even realize that. I can say a date finally. That's great. I'm actually working on Falconer this morning. One of the abilities that's generated by Falconer. Big spoilers. The Falconer class has abilities. No, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for it. The animation VFX, like SFX, all those teams are just they're just doing such a good job, and it just seems like every time I turn around, it's somehow better than it was before. You're just like, well, this is our peak for this category, and it shows up. Oh no, never mind, I was wrong. Great thing to be wrong about. Get it, Thunder Dragon. Welcome to the Thunder Dome. Oh, that belt. Yes, I'm trash talking a inanimate object in a video game. I love items. This was bad, but I love items like this where you get it. It's only T6 as well, I think, right? Yeah, it's only T6. But you find like exalted items that have. My favorite is when it's just one T7 item. It's actually an interestingly appropriate exalted affix for the base, which is cool. But yeah, you get these like single exalted affix items, and it's just such a blank slate. It's just so wonderful to be able to just do whatever you want to it. Usually I just use a discovery on it anyways, and it's like it dropped a bunch of stats, but you know. Additional Baker, Judd's never heard that before, don't worry. I'm new! Welcome, glad to have you with us, but you can use experimental item to make a unique item legendary, or is it only exalted items? The only item, or the requirements for making an item to be legendary is that the item is exalted. It requires an exalted item. It's very explicit in these instructions. Not this. Which items right there? Yes, a unique item, unique and exalted item. Boom, right there. Mr. Fibble asks, which Falconer skill are you most excited about? The second one. The second one you unlock in your passives. Like the one that sits right here, where Frostwall sits for Rune Master. Is there a point? I don't think there's any point in the middle of this where you're hitting all three. That push, that's what I was talking about earlier. That you can just like slide them along. Not always using the ability apparently, but yeah. This, like I'm gonna push you a little bit. Gotta get rid of that. We're working on it. I'm more confident in that being fixed now than I ever have been, but it's not done yet. So until it's ready. I'm using an unspecialized version of Glyph of Dominion just to get to trigger the rune easily, but also to get some buffs for standing in it. And I wish it just like lasted a little bit longer. But I mean, I guess that makes sense because like that's half the thing is you gotta specialize it to get all the stuff out of it, right? Alright, more questions. Oh, Kane agrees the second one is just so good. Yeah, that's funny. It's funny. Why am I excited about the second Falconer skill? It's got a really solid feel to it. You use it, it just feels good. Jump. There we go. Honestly, all of them feel really good, which is such a great thing. Jump. I haven't chopped time with that quick tap on the dash that I do. It ruins me. Any chance we can see DPS numbers on minions and totems in the tooltip DPS? Tooltips would be nice to know some things give more DPS or not. Yes, it is something that we are working on still. It's a back burner issue. They're not very accurate in general, but yes, it is good to see like, oh, did that have any effect at all? Yeah, that's nice. The really easy way to tell if you want to know if something affects a minion or not is, does the stat say minion on it? That's it. That's all you need to know. If the stat says minion, it affects your minion. If it doesn't say minion, it doesn't affect your minion. That's about it. Exceptions being attributes, so like dexterity will affect some minions, and intelligence will affect other minions, and things like that. So just look at the tooltips for the minion; it'll tell you what affects it. Yeah. That big boom, so good. Launch date for Falcon, September 21st. September 21st. Oh my god, February 21st. Do you remember the 21st night of September? Okay. Nate, is that my singing? Oh, I mean, I know it's terrible, but yeah, fair enough. That ring, what is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? I do. It's a cool ring. It just doesn't work here. Let's get some exalted relics. Oh, I have not been drinking enough water lately, and I've really noticed it. Like, affecting me. I don't like it. To add the DPS number thing, cast speed impacts the DPS, but not the actual damage we do. Will we ever see a clear number of how much damage a certain skill does? This is gonna sound weird. We have no intention of giving you a perfect DPS calculation. Oh, just out of range. Cast speed of channeled abilities, which is the biggest discrepancy here, does technically impact their DPS. Albeit extremely negligibly. I don't know, like how much just damage a hit's gonna do. It's one of those things where calculating it perfectly is the same as just like behind the scenes creating the thing you're gonna hit and like a fake version of it and like actually hitting it. Because you don't know how much damage it's actually going to deal until it hits the thing. Because there's so many conditional effects. They get calculated on the fly. So the game, like, if you have a fireball that you're about to cast, the game doesn't know necessarily how much damage that fireball is going to deal, regardless of target defenses. Like, whether it's going to be a 100 damage fireball or a 500 damage fireball, it doesn't necessarily know that until the fireball's already in the air. And then the fireball knows what it's going to do itself. But the player doesn't ever know what the fireball is going to do. And this is because there are effects that happen, that get applied as it's being cast. So there's a lot of things that say, like your next... it's probably a bad example, but you get the idea. Your next fire ability does double damage. Let's say you had an effect like that. Your next fire spell does double damage. Fireball doesn't know that buff exists, and like with how it's applied to your abilities and to your character and how it actually functions, that information doesn't get passed along to the ability until that ability technically already exists. The frame it exists that gets added onto it. So it's not like there's some system sitting there going like, okay, well your next fireball is going to do double damage, and Fireball knows this. It's more like the next skill you use has a chance, or has these checks it goes through to see if it should get these effects. And it checks a whole bunch of things. It doesn't check just the ones you have, which is, I know it sounds terrible, but it's fine. And you end up with a bunch of information that we can't put on tooltips. At least we don't have a good way to put them on tooltips now. And so we kind of have to give up on the perfect tooltip DPS anyways. Or remove all those effects, but those effects are sweet. But as far as the how much damage we think it's going to do and how much the DPS is, if you just look at the cast rate and divide it by the DPS, it's you get damage per hit. But that does include like ailments and lots of other supplementary effects, so it's not super straightforward. That's a sweet one. Yeah, it's neat, but yeah. Still dropping stuff. Hey, that's still out there. Let's go this way. Yeah, FPS 969. I understood the question. Why not add a DPS timer a la Lost Ark? Because we don't want to have it. It would help tremendously to help understand DPS for fast multi hits or dot minions. Absolutely would. Any chance we're going to get some love for Autobombers in this game? I mean, there is a pretty big Autobomber style archetype that already exists. Not sure it needs a ton of love. But having said that, I have no information as to the status of potential balance changes one way or the other. And frequently we kind of accidentally buff things where we'll like add in some new effect. Maybe it'll be planned for one class and helps another, just sort of accidentally. So you never really know until patch notes go live. Those are some big boulders. I mean, they don't start off that way, but they sure get that way. I love that one, the little like mini glacier cascade. Big fan. That was one I was considering trying to set up a build around, that it like specifically went for that one every single time. I really want to, something that I was brought up recently, that I still really want to do now, that I was very against before, but I've come around on, is the icon shifting colors. So like, Flame Rush right now is a cold Flame Rush, right? Like it's cold, yada yada yada, it does all cold stuff, makes cold runes, it's blue, but the icon's still red. Now, we've previously left the icon as the base icon very intentionally. But I've come around now, and I'd like to see, especially with Ringmaster, I'd like to see them switch to like this Frostwall being fire, have like a red version of it, and it really can just be color palette swaps. Like, it doesn't need to be full redesigns of them. It's actually probably better if it's just a color palette swap, because that way the icon itself stays recognizable. And the other option that I've heard recently that I really liked was like just a little like a snowflake in there. So it's these things, these symbols, but just like in the skill corner of the icon, so you can see that it's been switched or something like that. I think that'd be really cool too. This one's really flashy, but I don't find it actually that powerful, interestingly enough. It's pretty good to group, but I'd rather just have the big boom. Alright, okay, a more in-depth question. Void Knight, identify mastery passive. Identify mastery passive. I don't know what that is. Don't support spells fully, just the echo for spells, but the damage increase has the melee tag. Oh, I'm going to have to look at this. Any chance we get a change to general void damage and not only melee? I have no information on upcoming changes to balance for the game. Void Knight is very firmly focused as a melee class. And if we're just talking about the actual, like, the mastery bonus, we really try to keep the mastery bonuses focusing on specific themes that class that we want to push in that class primarily, and putting in sub themes there is usually something we avoid. So if this is actually the mastery passive itself, that's probably why it's not there. And then, like, the generic answer of, if you have a suggestion of something you'd like to see in the game, please put it in the forum in the appropriate section, or on our Discord in the appropriate section. That actually gets checked for things, because I don't write stuff down from stream, because I'm terrible. Got him. But I'll take a look at what that is in a sec here. Now that I'm out of danger. Pretty good memory. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Wonder how high this character's been. We could go to a really high arena. That might be fun to do an arena, actually. Okay, I'm gonna go look for the VK Identify mastery passive. Not sure what that is. Let's go look. Build planner. It's the easiest way to look at that, isn't it? Void Knight. Void Knight passes. Void Knight. Ident. No, there's nothing called identify. The echo. Okay, I think we're talking about just the mastery passive. So just like the 75% increased melee void damage, and your melee attack, throwing attacks, and void spells have a 10% chance to be repeated by the echo 0.5 seconds later. Yeah, I mean it's designed primarily as a melee class, so we're pushing that melee stuff pretty hard on there. That's probably why it's like that. Don't remember exactly though. It's been a while since we've looked at a lot of the passive trees for some older classes. We generally try not to make the mastery passive bonuses too like overwhelmingly strong. They're usually designed more as a a primary signpost to players to be like, here's a good idea of how to play this class. Here's some like key stats that are going to be useful for the vast majority of you in some way, and is a good indicator of like, here's a hint along the path of an easy way to play this class that fits thematically and all that sort of stuff. But it's not have them be so strong that it's like, oh, if I'm not using my entire mastery bonus, this build is scuffed. Like, we don't want that to be there. So it's generally not as mega powerful. It's like 75% increase. That's like a T4 affix or something like that. That's lost out on. It's not that much. T3 or something. It's not that high. I don't know how high that goes. Can we find out? How can we find out easily? We just want increased spell damage, really. We slap that on something. I mean, there's 201 right now. T7. T7's 201, so a T5 is probably 100. So T4 is probably pretty close to 75. Yeah, that's probably not far off. We could actually look it up here. Someone else look it up. If you want. Alright, moving on down the list. When we get more echoes, will we be able to favor certain echoes so they'll be more common among the monolith we are in? No. I mean, you can like manipulate which ones you get by just picking those ones in the overworld, like in the map. And each timeline has a different pool of echoes that it pulls from. So like the echoes that exist in Age of Winter are different than the echoes that exist in Reign of Dragons, and there is some overlap. There are some that's just generic, I think, for all of them, and some that are like specific to only one, and everything in between. Do you know any new unique idols that will spice up the gameplay for some classes? Someone was talking about a unique idol the other day. I don't know if it ever got added. There's unique idols that get pitched all the time. I have no idea if any are going into 1.0 or not. Any chance you're allowed to give us more than or less than numerical amount of new unique items coming to 1.0? Most of the unique items come to 1.0 probably haven't even been conceptualized yet, so no, I can't. But I would say my guess, as just someone who's been involved with this game for quite a while, is roughly similar to most other patches. Maybe a little bit more because we got 2 mastery classes coming. How's VK melee class focus class when all of its abilities are spells? Well, it's not all spells. I guess they all have a spell component to them. It's funny. Yeah, they all at least have a spell component, like a triggered spell. You gotta remember the Void Knight class as well. It's not just the ones that sit here. It's all of these and the ones that sit here. That's the whole class. So there's a lot of non-spell abilities in there. But even the ones that are just in this row for the Void Knight, they're not all spells. Thoughts on the brightness of the highlighted nodes / items / skills, etc. After searching. It is currently rather difficult to see the highlights. Yeah, I think they're great. If you don't and would like to see them possibly changed, please leave a suggestion, feedback, all those great things on the forums and stuff. Maybe other people feel the same way, and there'll be a discussion that starts. I don't know. Because it does more than just highlight the ones that exist there. It also fades out the ones that don't fit. Like, crit. Not even crit. Spell. Spell. Oh yeah, there's some spell stuff there. So yeah. Oh, it doesn't fade them anymore. It used to fade them. Interesting. Still, I think it makes it pretty obvious which ones they are. The motion really helps a lot. We probably took the dimming out of the other ones when we added the motion. Would be my guess. Oh, I have to held like a split second too long. Oh, hello. Fancy meeting you here in my purple stew. Alright, we just gonna... We good to just hammer this out like this? Huh? Nice. Exsanguinous! Love to see it. What a great item. This is one of our very first supporter uniques ever. I mean, on a rogue base, that's actually a sweet item. Yeah, there's that like that single exalted affix item again. Cool. Ooh, it's a lot of int.
I am not a man of many pockets.
I'm not a man of many pockets. So good. What are we even wearing? Some nice armor right there. I don't know how we're gonna do better than that. +3 to fireball. That's neat. I want to take those just to have the +3 on the skill for some potential shenanigans down the road. Let's just load up this bad boy. Did we get a... No. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Some shards. Alright, by chance, any new idea of when Falconer will be released? Yes, February 21st. Hi, will there be ways to earn the passive we get from the campaign elsewhere? Something that keeps me from rerolling all the time is redoing the story each time to get all the passives. We don't really have any plans at the moment of changing where those quests rewards come from. Yeah, I said that like there was gonna be a follow-up statement there. There's no follow-up statement there. It's just no. I guess if you'd like to suggest that to be considered, my advice would be to go to our forums and leave a suggestion there. I know I say that a lot. I really don't write anything down from streams. I'm usually a little busy. So glad to catch this live. Nice to meet everyone. A question. When it comes to boss design, while there are T4 dungeon bosses, high-level corruption bosses, Are there any other avenues that the team is looking forward to explore for endgame boss content? Yes, absolutely. It won't be ready in time for 1.0, but having a Pinnacle boss is kind of the possibly most important missing feature of the game right now. Other than the stuff coming in 1.0. But yes, so we definitely need to have a clear like benchmark boss, Pinnacle boss, something where you can say Diablo 2 didn't have, like, I'm talking the original Diablo 2 didn't have Diablo at the end. It's kind of where we are, where there's just no like this is the hardest thing you can do. Like, here's the boss, you know. We definitely need that, and it is something that we've been talking about, like, different designs for, how that's going to fit into a larger mechanic. So instead of it just being like a there's a door that opens at the end of time, and if you walk through, you go fight the final boss of the game. All right, sweet, good, go have fun. Like, that's just the most. There's no like lead up event to it. We want to have that sort of that anticipation and progression towards unlocking, and have it tie into the storyline nicely, and like have it possibly tie into other endgame systems. As far as like maybe you have to complete certain things to unlock it, or there's like pieces to unlock the door that you need to find that drop randomly, or there's something like that. There's lots of different things. The easy example I frequently give when this question comes up is the Pandemonium event in D2 of finding the organs, or finding the keys, and then finding the organs, and then unlocking Chaos Tristram. Which is a lot different than just like walking up to a car and being like, "Yo, girl, I'm ready. Let's go. Hop in my minivan." Us and the gang are gonna go solve a mystery. No, we want to have it be a proper event like that, and so we are looking at like how we want that to come together, and have that boss fight be really special. But yes, it is absolutely needed, and something we are working on. It's something I've been writing down, like little notes. I've got like a few sticky notes on my phone, not literal sticky notes, but like digital ones, that I write down things for different categories as I see them. So like, one of them's a list of challenge ideas for a hypothetical Taskmaster style situation. If anyone's ever seen that show, if I ever see something that's like, "Oh, that would make a sweet challenge," I just write it down. And a few other things, but yes, one of them is boss mechanics. Nice. This build just flows. That's the word. That's the word. It flows. I was never given the name of the person who it was, and I'm sorry I never said your name on stream. Whoever it was, awesome. I really appreciate it. I think we might go back to my my rogue next week. Just because my rogue's terrible and I love playing my rogue. Oh no, that's me dead. Saw it happening. Feel it happening. But that's me indeed. Any consideration to make faster for alt characters to enter endgame, like opening empowered monoliths and experience bonus till catch up to the main or something. We do have plans to speed up the empowered unlock for follow-up characters in a cycle. So I don't think that's 1.0 plan. Maybe. I don't think so. But we do have plans to make it so that your empowered monolith unlocks faster on follow-up characters. So I think that's usually a pretty frequent player power to content discrepancy happens pretty quickly there with empowered monoliths because you are forced to unlock them on every character. You can't just jump ahead, and like with leveling a character, you can jump ahead pretty easily, but getting the actual empowered's unlocked is still a hard requirement of the 390 timelines. That's also the thing as well. Is if you are looking to unlock that faster, get someone to warp you in the Monolith of Fate to the level 90 ones, because you don't need to do all the ones leading up to it. You only need to do the level 90s. Oh, it's 85 now. Yeah. The 390s are the only ones you actually have to do to unlock empowered. Let's try a force move. I just remember that we got that added to the game. Let's try slapping something on force move. Oh gosh, I'm just gonna die if I do this. Yep. What was that ding? I just got like a notification sound for something. I don't know what that was for. Force move, let's bind it to space. Already in use, don't replace it. What is it in use for? Am I crazy? Escape does not close that. Does it? Okay, nice. It doesn't click things like this. Good job. I don't think we're ready. Killed us last time. We're not ready for that. All right, challenge. Every time you die, you leak a word from the description of your favorite Falconer ability. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to do that. Sorry. Oh, arcane warriors, arcane quill of hope. Sounds so like backwards. Warriors, arcane. Sometimes you just have to ask again. He'll likely see you when you add him. Yeah, that's the problem. Because I am blind. I found the original question. Will we ever get extra lives for Monolith Echoes or dungeons like Path of Exile portals? We don't have any specific plans for that. I do really like how the inherent pressure that the limited number of portals puts on map in and out and map lives, so to speak. It is a really fantastic system. The way it works is it's done really well, and I'm not surprised at all that there's been so few changes to that system, so few major changes anyways to that system from like early on in the game. Like it's kind of, and I could be wrong about that, but it doesn't seem like it's changed much to me. It's very solid. We don't have any specific plans for something like that. I mean, you kind of do. It's just that number's 1. If I'm gonna be a jerk about it. Those things hit like a truck. Like a truck. I do think especially it's if like I think it's especially important to look at the if we're looking at the dungeons, or sorry, let me rephrase this. If we're talking about the whole like respawn life thing with the portals and maps and stuff, the sort of like the comparison there is I think more towards dungeons, um, and personally that comes from the standpoint of the extra mechanic that you get, and learning that because there is an actual cost. So the like the maps have retries because there's I guess the difference between maps and echoes and why they get retries and you don't in echoes partially is because there's no cost to opening up an echo. There's an like sorry there's an opportunity cost, but there's no material cost. Like in PoE, if you got say 0 retries, and you open the map and you immediately left or you immediately died in the very first mob and you got nothing, it's the exact same as taking that map item out of your inventory and throwing it on the ground and stepping on it and doing nothing with it. But with Last Epoch, if you do the same thing, all you've done is wasted a few seconds, really, and the opportunity to get that reward if you were successful. So because it kind of comes at the end and not as like an actual item cost that you are sinking into that like as an investment, there's nothing to invest. There's the word I was looking for, investment. Because there's no upfront investment, it's less important that there's extra tries, I think. It's not to say that there's not a good reason to have extra tries, but just it's less of a like, hey, we gotta have this type feature. Hello, how am I today? I'm good today, thank you. How are you today? I feel like the second last Pop-Tart in the box. You know, like it's delicious and there's still stuff left in the tank, but oh, it's getting low. Yeah, this is the problem with having awesome gear. It's hard to find gear. How many active players will satisfy you in LE after 1.0 release? I have like I don't know the numbers that are like necessary to like break even, or the numbers that are necessary to like make money, or like any of those things. I have no idea about the financials of these things. I would love to see all of the people having fun. You know, like let's go, crank up the numbers. Awesome. So I'd be really excited to see a new peak, a new player peak. Personally, I always get excited when I see a new player peak. That's cool. I try really hard not to look at the numbers too often. I try my best. I try my best to have a real Field of Dreams attitude towards it. I think it's Field of Dreams. Never saw it. If they build it, they will. If you build it, they will come. Yada yada yada. And just like letting the game be what the game is, and just make the best game we can make. Those are nice starting points for boots. What boots are we rolling? We are rolling some pretty nice. I mean, if we can find another 2 LP last steps, we can make another roll with that, because those are pretty boots right there. I'm not telling you what. Product resistance, not bad. Like armor on boots is fantastic. There's lightning res really. Void res is decent. There's something else on boots that's really good though, isn't there? Might be a prefix. Let's just go for all the way to the top. We got lots actually. Let's try for the cheeky seal. We got it, but we nuked it at the same time. T4 seal, that's pretty high. You don't see that very often. Chances are low. There's that Perry had his video that got the numbers right on that. Lightless and Soulfire. We kind of want Temporal Sanctum. We just got the other two. I'm still waiting on the key exchanger, the key combiner. No. Bing, bing, bing. Oh, I thought I was gonna go over for sure. Oh, so close to 96. So close. By crafting and killing a rare, I feel inadequate. Don't worry, I'm not playing in the hardest. I was given this build, and for the contest that we did. So it's the contest winners build, and I'm putting it in a pretty understated area from what it can do. So it speaks more to how well they made their character than how well I play it by a lot. Maybe we can bump the corruption up on this, I think. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's go for a little corruption bump. You make one of my best playing games right now. Thank you. Thanks for that epic game you did. Sorry for my English. Your English is fantastic, friend. Mike being pretty immoral. Looks like a no teaser stream. No, I've got one. You gave it. What? No, but you're the one that gave. Okay, fine. You know what? Just for that. You know, you're gonna taunt me like that. Here we go. So this is a preview of a scene variance test system that we've been developing. So it's a system where we can take a scene and basically just... I actually don't know what it goes into making all these differences, but from what I understand, it's a pretty minimal amount of work to go to change it. Like once it's been set up properly, there's pretty minimal amount of work to actually change it from one of these to another one of these. And we can get some pretty dramatically different looking scenes out of similar like layouts, and like the bulk of the work, you can get some pretty different feels out of it. Yeah, we've been working on a lot of the tools for like level design and tools for environmental design and things like that to give them the ability to make more cool stuff. So here's a little preview on what's been coming out recently. Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny because like none of the pieces in the world are changing. It's just the like the lighting and like environmental effects that are happening, and yeah. I think it's so cool how stark of a difference they can get from just all these other like special effects changes and lighting changes. Well, lighting's one of those things. I've watched so many tutorials and done like little lighting test projects and trying to set up lighting and post-processing nicely in different situations and learning exactly the details on how that works. And like every time I get near the end of it and I'm just like, okay, well, I can do it in that one very specific situation, but I'm not good enough to like look at a situation and say, hey, what could this use in those departments to make them look better and feel better and play better, all that sort of stuff. It's the people that do that. Props. You're awesome. Let's keep going. Let's have some fun. Just a re-up on the info on the stream. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. Put at Last Epoch Game in the question, and I'll be happy to answer it. As always, we stream for charity. Boom. We're doing food bank stuff today, all month long. I'm playing a build from a contest winner recently, and I'm loving. On a brand new class, the Ringmaster. I called the character contest winner. Or someone else. Yes, the person who gave it to me called it that, right? Yeah, good edge mode. Yes. Yes. Alright, I know the focus is on 1.0 at the moment, but any talks on X-Facts? Yes and no. So we're not doing expansions the way you historically would assume expansions would be for games in general. So like, if we're going to look at like World of Warcraft as an example for like typical expansions, we're not doing that. Where they say, all right, here's a bunch of new content, awesome new stuff. Everyone who's bought the expansion can play together, and it's super awesome. And like that system works fantastic for a lot of games. But we're looking at more of a PoE style expansion process, where more of a live service model style. I didn't go for a blow. That's fine. Where everyone like there's no box to buy for the next expansion. It's just like here's a huge patch with a bunch of stuff, and there's new activities, there's new items, there's new skills, maybe there's new mastery class, ways off, but 1.0 there will be, and like all new cool stuff to do. Here's like maybe there's new cosmetics that show up, maybe there's new like activities to do, new other cool fun stuff, various different things, ladder resets, all the sort of stuff, and like here's your expansion, but everyone can access it. You don't have to. It's if Timmy spends $1,000 on MTX and Johnny spends $0 on MTX, they both still can play all the same content together because they both bought the base game. So yeah, we've got the first. I know the first like 1.0. 1.1. The content for 1.1 is planned. There's already people working on it in a few departments. So there's like we've managed to get ahead in a couple departments. So there's now people working on 1.1 content for certain things that will allow us to get that stuff out the door faster. And this is something that I know PoE's talked about a lot about and how they do their development, where they for example, their art department will say, okay, we're gonna make a whole bunch of like a big patch or almost expansion worth of stuff in this style, and we're gonna like make characters and make models and animation and VFX and all those sorts of things, and sort of like put them on the shelf and say, hey, when we need them, they're here. And so we're not exactly doing that sort of thing exactly, but we are trying to get ahead a little bit for specific plans we have on upcoming content, so that we can get that out faster, get that out smoother, have more time for testing. We've been working very much, last second, everything coming up at the very last moment, very very much living up to our name. And I mean, it's been a wild ride and great and everything, but and we've been, I think, producing some great content. I think we'll make even better content if we're able to get ahead of things a little bit. All right. Do you think you will be doing anything like a holiday event this winter within the game, maybe a transmog or pet? No, not this year. This year we are a little too heavily focused on 1.0 and getting that out the door that we don't really have time for anything that's not completely necessary. So it'll be... there won't be any big holiday event this year in Last Epoch, unfortunately, but that is the style of thing that I know a lot of us have shown a lot of interest in doing. It's really fun to be able to say like to make temporary events that are possibly a little less strict on the like world building being adhered to 100%. So like, it's a lot harder to justify a Santa hat MTX in July than it is in December. You know, not suggesting that we're going to add a Santa hat at all to the game, but just you don't necessarily need to be quite as perfect with the style of things that you feel comfortable adding when you've got like an event to associate it with, like a holiday event. What am I doing? That key. Oh yeah, we got our passive point. Oh, should we just put it up here? Yeah, we should put it up here, right? Oh, I got to 4 that gets that. That's probably what we were looking for there. +1 spell damage. Cannot hurt. +1 spell damage is so good. I got an interesting question about. I think it was on our Discord about why we use. So the amount, you may notice that the corruption. Is this gonna stay? Yeah, dang it. The corruption that we have. Can I do this? Haha, nailed it. The corruption that we grant for completing one of these echoes off the web to reset it is based on the distance from that echo to the center. And you may notice that all the echoes are laid out on rings that come out from the center, basically. And the distance here is what matters for how much corruption it actually gives you, and anything that scales off of the like how far into the timeline you are. All is distance to center, not number of steps to center. So we don't count like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 along this path to see how long it took to get there. We look at just the sheer distance in a straight line, which is why both of these two have the exact same stats. And because there's something interesting that happens in that what you could do is you could take a very long and winding way out to the side here. Maybe you convince it to like snake around, and like get to a point down here or something like that. Like let's just say you managed to do that somehow, and so you've got this point that's actually really close to the center geographically, but number of steps to get to the center, you gotta go all the way around the outside. It's like 100 steps or something to actually get to the center. Without knowing exactly how it's calculated, it's kind of impossible to make sense of, hey, why is this one so expensive or so much stuff, and one that's maybe a same distance but like a straight line, why is it so little? And then say you connect back up to it. So you come all the way around the outside, and then you go back to the center and you come down and you connect to it. Does that node recalculate? And if it does recalculate, how does it recalculate? If it's based on the number of steps, does it go with the newest thing? Does it go with the longest thing? Does it go with the shortest thing? And so it's I guess that's the short version of why we do geometric distance instead of graph distance. That was a friendly neighborhood ramble brought to you by me catching up in questions in chat. Look at all those ailments. Oh my goodness me! I am. Should be standing closer. Oh! Ride the lightning. Oh, I'm dead. Oh. The glow, I think I know what's happening. The glow around your health, that blue glow based on ward, when you die, needs to vanish right away, I think. It's not vanishing fast enough. I don't, like, that was so much damage. I don't think there's any way I can spec up. I mean, Void and Poison was what I was doing, and my Void and Poison res are the weakest. So, I mean, maybe there's something there. Maybe I just do a different one and get a better roll. Or we keep going and fight the boss. Pro strats. Alright. I've been getting some coy remarks from some EHD people about something coming up for Primalist Scorpion. Any potential light you are free to shed on that or nah? Surprise and confusion would be my light that I can spread on that. So no, sorry, got nothing. As someone who is intimately involved with the skill development, I would be surprised if there was a major Scorpion update in 1.0. Even a minor Scorpion update in 1.0. Maybe like some bug fixes. You did a fantastic job, and I'm looking forward to Warlock. Warlock be a dot. Thank you very much. That's awesome. I can't give you any info on what Warlock's going to be. I'm sorry. Santa hat confirmed. Yeah, put that triangle away. Do you have any plans to make the Gambler useful again? Not in the sense you're asking for, because it's already useful for different scenarios than what you're hoping for. Right now, he provides no real gear upgrades or advantages while leveling. Except while leveling, I think you mean. But yes. The Gambler is really a leveling tool right now. What am I doing to set this one up? Because I've decided I don't like this one as much as the other options I've got. Right now, Necromancer is very squishy. Is it intended, or do you plan to change this? I mean, we want every class to roughly have similar survivability levels. And like sometimes that survivability comes from non-standard sources, so like things you can't really represent with numbers. Because like a lot of times you'll like in traditional, I'm just talking in general here, like freezing something while an offensive ability really is a defensive action you can take, because it stops attacking you. You know, same with stunning and fearing and always like hard CC is really a defensive action as much as it is an offensive action. And so the like overall survivability of a character sometimes is higher than its squishiness factor. Oh, give me that despair. Burned 2 of them earlier on boots that just went. All right. What do you think about Weaver's Will items getting experimental affixes? I think that's a neat suggestion. I don't know. Do we try and grab some good ones here? Let's just go for it. Forward onto the breach.
Eternal flame.
Alright.
Burn to ashes. Eternal flame.
Oh, get out of there, please, Mike.
Flames consume. You will be snuffed out.
Okay, I want to line this up. Perfect.
Burn to ashes.
Didn't do great. Can I get that to go to 5? I think I can. I know the one that you make through your rune bolts can go to 5.
Burn to ash, embrace the flame. Erupt. You will be snuffed out.
You will be snuffed out.
Eternal flame.
I walked right into it.
Burn to
Let's see if I get another question to answer while I'm doing this.
embrace the flame.
Are there plans to make
Eternal flame.
the grind to empowered monoliths faster and or share account wave? Yeah, so that's what I was talking about earlier. We do plan to add a method whereby you can speed up the process to unlock empowered monoliths for secondary characters in a shared stash situation. So like, if you already have if you have 2 characters, one of them has empowered monolith unlocked, and one that doesn't, and they both have access to the same stash, there will be a way to use that first one to get that second one,
Eternal
unlocking the empowered monoliths faster.
to ashes.
And it's like the most vague way I could have put that, but I don't have any details I can share with you right now.
You will be snuffed out. Eternal flame.
Doing okay right now. I am a little bit concerned when one of them breaks off. What's our necrotic? Necrotic's fine.
Embrace the
Trying to take them all down as evenly as possible, if can be done.
burn to ashes. Erupt.
Let's focus on this one for a bit. Yeah, get that little cascade going.
Flame. Embrace the flame.
Oh, that was a closer one than I would have
You
liked.
will be snuffed. My soul. My soul burns. Burn to ashes.
Just
No.
that moment when you need culling.
Fade.
Alright, we got there. We are having such a tough time finding the one we're looking for here. Alright, 55% fail. 56! Oh! There we go. I think frailty is what we're looking at. Just the 1% bump in frailty. And we'll take it and we'll like it. Hear me? That's a cool amulet. We did it! We cranked out a powered monolith there. That was sweet. XP items confirmed? No, I want to be very clear. XP items very strictly unconfirmed. We are not doing XP items. No. It's not an attempt to make so just to be clear, the goal is not to make your second and third and fourth Fallout characters stronger. It's to give them access to challenging content at an appropriate pace. So assuming that you have character that's already like level 90 or something that's doing empowered monoliths and it's doing well and it's finding lots of gear, and you're finding this gear that's maybe not for your character but it's for other ones, and you're like, okay, well, I've got enough stuff here with this one character to like kit out another one, and so I kit that one out really early and it goes into regular monoliths and that one goes, oh, this is way too easy. and you're just like, okay, well, this is kind of boring for a few hours while I unlock empowered monoliths. Instead, we want to have that process there where you've given them a ton of gear, and they're able, and you've already made them better, and they're able to get into those empowered monoliths a little bit faster. Oh, I got another one. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Should save this if I die. Just a second. Whoop, not that. It's okay. Please wait. Your call is important to us. It will be answered in the order it was received. If this is the first thing you've tried, you definitely haven't gone online to Google if this is possible first, like everyone always does every time. Please go to our website and try to download the fix there. But we know it will not work, and you'll need to stay on the line anyways. And boom, here is a replacement to the crow enemy. This is not the falcon. I want to be very clear, this is not the falcon. This is an enemy. And so yeah, this is new stuff going in for enemies. New model, which looks so good. Yeah, Moxjet, it's great to have you here. I'm like, thanks for checking out the game. Welcome. If you're a new player, I can get some resources in chat for you that you can like get adjusted to things. But no, this is not the Falcon coming up. This is actually the a new crow enemy. Yeah, just in case. Moderator tag. That's the game director, if anyone's wondering. Let's go hop in. You know what I want to do? I want to do a let the server. I just like this one. I know I'm gonna get my butt kicked. I don't care. I just want to do it. This is the second Falconer skill. No. No. Let's offload stuff. I'm such a pack rat with this. I'm just like, yeah, let's just keep it all. Why not, right? Yeah, it's fine. Oh, tier 3 do it. Yeah, let's go for it. Be a glutton for punishment. It's fine. I feel like there was a question I missed. Let's go back and answer them. I see what you mean about survivability not always being a higher number, but some factors like armor or endurance are useful in any situation, while CC is often useless against bosses. Very true. And we do look to give, and I guess specifically CC may not have been the best example to put out there. So like maybe an example for specifically minions, necromancer minions, like you were talking about, is just get this. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm here. I'm good. Specifically, necromancer minions is the number of projectiles that hit you. So just like having a meat shield standing in front of you, or a series of meat shields standing in front of you, will reduce the number of random errant arrows that just fly into you and deal damage, which then therefore reduces the amount of damage you take overall. So like there's lots of secondary things that we do consider when we're talking about internally about defensive layers and like who has access to what defensively and all that sort of stuff. And we know it's not as even as a lot of people would like, and there are certain unintuitive, squishier classes overall that you know, we are looking at the best ways to solve these situations still. Just thought I'd let you know your beard is majestic. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love having my beard. You know who had a great beard? Beard. Ted Lasso. Yeah, fantastic beard. It's that really like the like tight where you know the like it's that same consistency the whole way through. Mine is there's some trickery to make it look like it's not patchy in parts. But I've got like right on like if you put your thumb on like the underside of your jaw, so it's like just right there. There's like a bald patch on my beard. It just doesn't grow there. Forgot about my ember. Shrouded in Darkness, super tough. Yeah, I get it. Okay. Will we be getting a refund all option for passive points? Yes. Remember to tag Last Epoch Game if you have a question seen by Mike. Yes, please do remember to tag me so I see it. I'll take a little look-see up at what that was for. I'm sorry, I'll repeat my question. That's okay. Do you plan for some tweaks on the monos, like Deli in PoE, for example, or some idea around? Am I? Okay, I'm not. On influences from the bosses or something like random encounters, etc. Yes, so there's lots of stuff there. I don't really want to get into specifics about exactly how we're going to do things like this, and I don't want to. I don't like tying answers to things like this to specific mechanics in other games necessarily, just because you can sometimes be like, okay, well they're going to add a system like this to the game, and then when it's sort of just like tangentially related, it's not exactly the same because after we half implemented it, we're like, oh gosh, we've got to change this major thing to make it work in our game. Sometimes people can be a little bit disappointed for it. I don't want to set people up for disappointment. But having said that, yes, the types of things we are looking at do include a little bit more involved systems, and also just unexpected. I keep using this term, unexpected content, and it's really the crux of. It's not a term we set out to use, but it's one that someone said in stream, I think, and I really like it now. And just having things that surprise you, it's something we are looking to add into the game, and that we don't have enough of. Spark charges, there we go. That's a nice one, actually. No, the Falconer has fingers. The Falconer does have fingers. Remember, it's still base model is the same as the Rogue still. Oh, we dropped down to 97. Run ruined. That would be a cool achievement. Do Lightless Arbor without ever dropping below 100 light. What's it actually called? Illumination. Basically light. It's another thing. It's another one of the notepad that I have, and the sticky notes lists that I have is cool achievements. I gotta learn what that one is to stop taking it. I don't pay attention. I'm just like, press the invocation. It's gonna be sweet, and it is still sweet. Right. Will there be a level requirement to join factions, or will you be able to join them right away? The initial... So, I don't think there's a level requirement. If we are talking single player, let's just like let's ignore the multiplayer question for side of the question for a second. If we're talking single player, there are some. Jumped a little bit. Single player. The first time, the way you'll unlock your faction access the first time through the campaign, there will be a specific story event at a specific point in the campaign, and it'll be a quest. It'll be part of the main storyline quest chain. You'll complete the quest and you'll gain access to one of the item factions. Well, both, but you'll pick one. And back to 100. There we are. Subsequent characters that go through will have access to pick a faction affiliation for that follow-up characters earlier on in the campaign. You won't have to wait all the way till the end. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that, like a lot of the stuff you're accessing on these follow-up characters, if you're Circle of Fortune, you're gonna want those Circle of Fortune drops to kick in as soon as possible. It's basically what it is. What? No. What? No, but oh. I don't know how that happened. Or why it kicked us out to here. That's weird. It's the wrong place altogether. Oh, hey, person. Who's this? Secretly a Yeti. Hello, secretly a Yeti. I have found you. Not so secret now, are you, Mr. Yeti?
I cannot do that.
I'm not even gonna try it. Not even gonna try it.
Our time is running short. Reforming the epoch is the only hope we have.
What am I doing? It's the same person. They got a really cool name. Let's go fail at Soulfire Bastion. If I can remember the hotkeys for things. Alright, will there be a wardrobe so you can switch between two sets of skills, passives, items for different builds on the same character? I'm gonna answer this as a so generally no. We don't plan on that right now. The closest system in a similar game that I'd reference this to usually is the Armory in Diablo 3, whereby you can, at the press of a couple buttons, switch everything wholesale over to another character. When you want to drop your specialization on a skill, like when you want to switch one skill to a different, as would be part of this requirement, there is an experience cost after you switch that requires you to re-level the skill. This system would bypass that completely, so we'd have to strip the respec cost out completely. The system would also respec your passives, which have a gold cost. So like this would have to pay that same gold cost too, which is, you know, like there's all these costs that are associated with these respecs that these systems wouldn't be fantastic. It wouldn't sit nice. We're just gonna speed through this till we get there. Is that just boring? I think that's just boring. Let's go do a monolith. Let's go here and do a card. So, short answer, basically no. But there might be something if we ever implement a like a planning system whereby you can like load in here and maybe it puts like you've planned out what your build's gonna be, and so you know where the points are gonna go. So you can be like, oh, you level up, and you don't have to be like, okay, let me go look at my build planner outside. Oh, okay, yeah, it's this one. I'm gonna put the points here next. So maybe having a like a wardrobe system where it would indicate to you what that build loadout is, and you could get to it yourself. Maybe something like that, but just a one-click switch. All nah, sorry. We do have 2 points here. Should we put them somewhere? I think we should. Let's do that. Where though? Just flat armor is so nice. Ooh, mana efficiency. Ooh, does that affect the? I shouldn't have done that. I should have put it in. I should put it in nothing and checked how much mana it costs because I don't know if that affects. This is how we trigger it. So here, that does not drop much health, not much mana anymore. I think it worked. I just couldn't remember if mana efficiency only affected when you actually activated it or when it was just generally happening. Will we have nodes in the Falconer tree for the ballista? Sorry if I already replied. I can't really talk specifics about what is or isn't coming to Falconer with things like this. Yeah. As an aside, ballista is the current version of ballista that's available in game is pretty underwhelming, and the skill tree itself needs some love. I guess we were at a stage in development where we were generally putting in a lot more negatives on nodes. I think that was like the peak of our node negatives, whereby like every other node in that tree has a negative associated with it. It's brutal. Definitely learned the lesson there. Like they are useful tools to balance things and exceptionally powerful effects, but are not to be overused. And like, what is going on? Is that 3 exalted chess piece like back? That's very nice. All right. From my gaming experience, the shield in Titan Quest was very well put to use. It had active skill and passives, like every 4 seconds your normal attack uses your shield to bash enemies in front of you. Any plans to make better use of the shield in LE? So most of our, I mean, nothing specific that I could say we've like sat down in a meeting and been like, we really need to focus on our shield usage or something like that. We do have like unique items that have shields, like unique shields that have like specific abilities tied to them and things like that, and that'll continue. The specific example, like, there is like a shield bash ability, so we can't really put that in necessarily like that immediately, but yeah, shields are not an unpopular tool in most players' repertoires in Last Epoch at the moment. They're pretty popular because they do provide very good defensive layers. I think we do need more shields and more cool effects. So, and like any other item slot, we'll be doing that. Oh my goodness, these exile mages are strong. So yeah, it's Yes, but nothing specific and nothing like game changing. There's a question. Do you plan to boost set items? We plan to restructure how set items fit into the overall scheme of itemization for endgame characters. They currently are not fulfilling the role we hope them to, and want to make adjustments to set items as a system to get them to incorporate better into your endgame gearing. Which is not as simple as, hey, turn some numbers up. And we think it'll have a much more positive overall impact on the game, how it plays, the balancing, and how you're gearing your character. But yes, for the most part, sets are very underplayed right now in Last Epoch. And we do want them to be a major component of the gear puzzle. Along with, you know, like there's basically every other item type apart from magic and normal have some place in a build. Like when you're looking at like a build planner and you're saying, oh, what am I going to make in this character? Even rare items have a place in that. Usually you'll try and find exalted versions of them, but you'll be still happy with a rare if it's in the early to mid-end game systems. That is an empty cup of not water. It was a full cup of water. Now it's just full of air. Oh, give me those epic shards. On top of having cycles, will there be weekly or daily events or rotating bosses to possibly face? We do have some extremely light daily changes that happen in the game right now with regards to rewards from dungeons. I think that's probably the extent of the time-gated content that we're going to be putting in the game at launch anyways, and probably for a while. It probably won't be much, if anything, other than that. It's one of those things that people frequently either, like, enjoy, but don't really attach specific desires to, or really hate. So they're tough to add with a positive reception to. Doesn't make them impossible, and I think there's room for them in select situations, but it's not something we're looking to as a primary focus for upcoming content. Oh, not much time left. If you got any questions, get them in. With Ravenous Void, I often have permanent 6 stacks of Void Barrier. Cool. Do you know if this is a visual bug or actual bug? My guess is that it has something to do with another bug of character dropping to low health on end of time loading. Just a guess, though. I don't know. What's EHG's stance on magic finding? If you're required to forego power on your character to select magic find as an option, big no-no. So if you're ever in a situation where you're like, well, this pair of gloves gives me 10% magic find, And this pair of gloves gives me 10% damage. Which one's better? We do not do that. The only time you'll see Magic Find in Last Epoch is when the comparison is to other Magic Find or other non-directly gameplay impacting systems. So we do include some Magic Find systems as part of blessing rewards. So I can quick peek at those. Wish those said the amount of experience again. Oh, it bothers me. Nope, this one. Here we go. Nailed it, first try. There are specific Wander up, there we go. So this Blood, Frost, and Death, this timeline, we've got all the blessings discovered here. You'll notice that each one of them is specifically relating to a different type of niche Magic Find. And they all, for the record, they all increase the total drops as well as the increase of the drops of that type. So you're not trading off. You're not being like, okay, well, I get this more dagger drops, I'll find less swords. No, you'll find the exact same amount of swords. You'll also find more daggers. You'll find more items overall. So we intentionally don't have any, because these are all the options that can appear in this timeline. These are the empowered versions of them, and so you'll never see a like. So here's it's helmet, bad example. So here this one. All of these are like specific stat things. None of these are Magic Find related, and so we don't overlap them ever. There's the short version of how we deal with Magic Find. Finished all the questions. I guess I got another run I can do. Let's go deeper. Enemies have crit avoidance. No problem. Get the crit shrine right at the start. 100% crit chance, but they can avoid your crits. That's funny. We're probably sitting at like a pretty similar crit rate to normal. Just because it canceled out. Let's keep going. Charge! Onward once more into the breach. I do quite like the triple cold on the cold rune. Big cold explosion, the blizzard that follows up. Feels good. The Lost Warriors, Kashe. No, that's not. But we have fun. Oh, a little bit of damage reflection. Reflection's an interesting thing. We were talking about reflection the other day. Yesterday, in a meeting. I find it an interesting problem to solve because it is a build, like Thorns is a build archetype that some people are just like that's their go-to in every single game. We don't really have a good way of doing it yet. We kind of have some like some little things you can try out, but there's not really a good I'm a Thorns build option in Epoch yet. And I'd still like to see it. We don't have any specific plans or ideas on how we're going to make that possible if we do. I'd like to see it personally. These guys got some beef to them. Got him. Ooh. It's not too shabby. But that'll just about do us for time today, I think. Oh, feels good though. All right. Well, yeah, that'll about do it for us today. Thanks for coming out, everybody. I hope you had fun. I know I did. I'll be here same time, same place next week. Hammer out some more Last Epoch, answer some more questions. If I was unable to answer one of your questions, or just missed it, or you were here too late, or you're watching this on a repeat, please head on over to our Discord, and there's a great channel in there. Ask the Devs, Ask the Community. Both those good options for finding out information about the game, maybe specific situations, things you're trying to do. We are also pretty active on several other platforms like Reddit, forums. I know there's other people on other social platforms too. And yeah, come on by, talk to us. We're here. Got lots of cool questions answered all the time. Let's go say hi to someone. We should go say hi to. Oh, here's someone that immediately gets it from me. Here we go. So I just missed this. Oh, Stefan KBH, thank you for the resub. Or for the Twitch Prime sub. Right there at the end of the day. I didn't get a notification for it. Why not? Links is all tabbed. So either way, thank you very much. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.